Hi, this is Doug Manch, and you're listening to Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast.
Yes, welcome back, Looney listeners. You are listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. This is episode 157, and you are with the High Priest of Khonshu Rey. I am here tonight for another awesome episode, a slightly different one. It kind of came about quite haphazardly. Let me introduce our co-hosts first. With me, and no stranger to the show, the power of Chad. Chad, welcome back.
Thank you.
Excellent, Chad. You and I have been. This is not your first rodeo. We've done arc reviews. We've done classic run reviews. But this is the first time that we'll be doing something for film. Moon Knight on film.
Yep. I mean, short of the fan films, that we haven't done audio commentary yet.
No.
This is brand new territory.
Yep, this is brand new, Loonies, Patroonies, and everyone else. You are privy to a new segment within the Moon and Stars. With us also as well is a very special guest from Spider-Man, the Animated Series podcast. It is Alex. Alex, a big welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm all right. Thank you for having me. It's nice to meet you both. As you said, this was all put together last minute, and it worked out for the best. So I'm excited to be here.
Excellent. And Alex is not exaggerating. Loonies. I called Alex literally probably about half an hour ago or something just to come on the show. Why not? It's something special. I'm pumped. It's, as Chad mentioned, it is an audio commentary. What we're doing, this is our Moon and Stars segment, so Moon Knight on film. And tonight we'll be doing an audio commentary of Marvel's Spider-Man Season 3, Episode 3, Vengeance of Venom. Now, this came out a couple of months ago already. I jumped on the We Are Venomaniacs podcast with Orion, and we did chat about it and discussed it, broke it down with Moon Knight's involvement and Venom's involvement. But I wanted to do something for our own show, and why not have a valued loony with us, but also a Spider-Man aficionado in Alex. So so this should be fun. All right, loonies, this is the first time we're doing it, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to forego any white noise. Look, I might just add it in later. At this point in time, nothing much on the horizon for Mooney news. But actually, before we get into that, as always, a big shout out to our sponsors. The first one, our Patroonies on patreon.com/ITK Moon Knight. A big thank you to all our Patreon members. As always, you can you can consider joining, throwing some coin our way, and there are some plenty of bonus incentives for you there as well. So a big thank you to all the current Patroonies. Thanks for keeping the lights on. Also, big thank you to two of our sponsors. Hello Headphones, empowering gamers to play at their best, and also to Dreamland Comics from Illinois, the superhero superstore. Okay, well, I guess we're going to go straight into it, guys. Alex, are you ready?
Yeah, I've never seen the show. The only exposure I've had to Venom in animation is from the animated series, which I obviously do a podcast on. That was the first time Venom was ever appeared on screen in any form, not just animation, but any form back in the 90s. So this is going to be a whole new experience for me.
Yeah, it will be very, it's exciting. Chad and I believe we've both seen it, Chad, so you're looking forward to the revisit as well. Do you have some comments ready? Are you looking forward to some scenes? Not looking forward to some scenes?
I'm looking forward to, I don't want to ruin it.
Okay.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, we won't ruin it. No, not at all. Actually, you reminded me also, Alex, as well, we might as well do our spectacle now. So our spectacle is a shout-out in our plugs. So Alex as well. Very interesting news, Loonies. Actually, can I lead us in with this, Alex? You are the brother of a comic book artist.
That's right, and the co-host of our podcast as well.
Oh, excellent. And who is this said gentleman?
So he shares the same name as I do as far as the surname. Surprise, surprise. His name's Will Robson. He's a Marvel and Image comic book artist. He's also done work for IDW and a couple other well-known publishers. But he's most famous right now for his run on Spider-Ham, which is, I think, issue 5 has just been released after COVID stopped it from being released regularly every month. So... yeah, he's done the Great Lakes Avengers, Spider-Man and Deadpool. He's done some Star-Lord. He's done quite a lot of work. So, yeah, check him out, Will Robson. You can go and visit him anywhere on the interwebs at Robson Inc., I-N-K. He usually does YouTube videos of him drawing comps or doing any sketch cards, etc. And, yeah, you can definitely check out all his work, and you can also check his humorous side as well as mine on our podcast at Spider-Man the Animated Series podcast, which is on every podcast platform out there. And yeah, definitely check us out and check out his work.
Fantastic. No, and did you say Great Lake Avengers? Was that the more recent run?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay, because I did get the first 2 issues. The art is phenomenal in that. So, all right, hats off to your bro there.
I'll tell him you said that. It's the typical, we grew up together,
Yeah.
I fell in love with something, and he's a younger brother. So it's the typical younger brother going, oh, you like to draw, do you? Okay, well, now I'm going to be an artist, you know? Oh, you like to play guitar, do you? Okay, now I'm going to be in a band. It's the type of one-up thing. So, yeah, but he's done really well for himself, so I'm super proud of him.
Awesome. And as you mentioned, your podcast as well available, and we'll put all the links in the show notes as well. But your, as you said, all the platforms. So we're talking Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, stuff like that.
Yep, all on those. You can find us easily at STAS Podcast, which stands for Spider-Man the Animated Series Podcast. So you'll be able to find us all there, wherever you get your podcasts on whatever platforms, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, etc. And yeah, you'll be able to listen in. We review the animated series, the Spider-Man cartoon from the 90s. We've interviewed voice actors from the show, writers, producers, artists, Marvel artists that my brother know that are influenced by the show as well as kids. They watched it growing up, and now they're artists as well. Same with my brother; he watched it, and that's part of the influence and why he wanted to be a Marvel artist. So yeah, check it out, and hope you enjoy it.
Fantastic, loonies. Okay, well, I guess we better stop there and we'll get straight into it. So, as any audio commentary, Alex, Chad, and I are just going to sit back. We're going to relax and enjoy this episode. Alex hasn't seen it before, and yeah, we'll just comment on it. Guys, just feel free to comment on anything you find peculiar, happy, sad, funny. Whatever makes you angry or surprised.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay, are you ready, Chad?
Yep.
All right, Lenny. So, grab your copy of Vengeance of Venom, and we shall be starting the viewing in 3, 2, 1, go. So actually, Alex, this is part 3, so you might be a little lost.
I'm sure Peter Parker's Spider-Man, spoiler alert, a couple other things that I'm sure I could catch on to. Is that the Vulture right there? And that's Electro right there.
Yeah.
See, I'm in. I know what's going on.
Okay.
They're all venomized at this point, I think.
Yeah, there's been
are they? Okay. Cool.
Yeah, there's been a big Clintar invasion or something.
Eric Radomski. That's Batman the Animated Series fame, Eric Radomski.
Oh, okay.
His name just popped up.
Well,
Sandman.
What do you think of the animation? Like, compared to the other...
I like the animation. At first, when I saw the opening, it looked like in the early 2000s, MTV had like a 3D Spider-Man the Animated Series where I think Neil Patrick Harris voiced Spider-Man.
Oh, I heard of that. Yes, yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, and it reminded me of that, but now the animation is obviously way improved and very up to date. But that beginning frame, I was a bit worried. I was like, oh, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I like his costume.
Yeah.
So is that Gwen Stacy?
I think so. Yes,
Miles?
Miles in the middle, yeah, Miles, and I think it's Kamala. I think it's Kamala.
Oh, okay, great.
I think I could be wrong.
I hope the listeners are okay because I'm like, is that that character? Is that character? Like, I'm seeing this for the first time.
Yeah.
Now, is Miles Spider-Man yet, or
Yes.
not yet?
Yeah, he is. No, definitely established. I think as early as maybe season 2,
Okay, cool.
or maybe even season 1. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's a very subtle tweak to his costume, isn't it? It's classic Spidey, but you've got a bit of Homecoming style on the shoulders there. It's almost like the Spider-Man PS4 video game a bit on the fingers as well, some of the costuming.
I like how they do the little tweaks to the costume.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, here we go.
Uh-oh.
I know what this reminds me of now.
Yeah.
Voltron. The animation style.
Oh, right.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like manga anime, yeah?
Yeah.
So, Alex, this is Max Modell. I'm not sure if he's popped up in other series.
Not familiar with the name, no.
No, it's just a...
But he's cloned a Venom symbiote, so I'm already concerned that he's going to cause a lot of problems.
Yes.
Never mess with the Venom symbiote.
Exactly.
Do you guys say symbiote or symbiote?
Symbiote. How about you, Kat?
Symbiote. I say symbiote as well, but he just said symbiote, which I heard a lot recently. Like in the Venom film, they say symbiote.
Yeah, it got a lot of flack for that, I think.
Yeah, it's like Venom's got some like Quaker's Oat cereal brand or something. Symbiote. It's weird.
But don't worry, it's on sale.
Yeah.
So Max is generally good-natured, so you don't have to worry. I don't think I'm spoiling anything, Alex. He's not evil. He's not an evil character.
No, I was just wondering if he's inadvertently going to cause a problem by doing this.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
A given. No.
Yeah, I mean he's got a proper goatee and mustache there, doesn't he?
Oh.
He looks like a distinguished 18th century gentleman.
I just saw
this
Beatnik. Sorry.
This is my first exposure to this Peter, and they're definitely taking influence with Tom Holland on this, aren't they?
Yeah,
I see similarities at least.
Yeah, what do you reckon, Chad?
I don't know, just he's really boyish. Like,
yeah,
with Tom Holland, he's kind of got like the whole great responsibility thing, and he kind of takes things in stride. Yeah. This is a slouching, 12th grader.
Isn't he? Yeah, he's really slouching. Yeah, I was more thinking about like the chin and just some of the facial features reminded me of Tom Holland. The hair definitely.
Even the hairs. For me, the defining feature is his hair, like compared to other iterations. It just kind of makes him look, he's still kind of nerdish, but I don't know, there's a little bit of, he's a cool nerd.
Yeah, he's definitely, he's got that look to him. Yeah. He's got that like devil may care type of hairstyle, right?
Yeah. Oh gosh, this guy, I can't remember. He's a Spidey character. Slightly tweaked. God, who is he?
Is Dr. Octopus's son with that green and yellow?
It could well be. I think he's connected to Doc Ock.
Is he really?
I think so.
That was a total shot in the dark. So.
I think so. Right. No, yeah. I think you're right on the money. He's quite smart. Oh, who was he? Sure he'll say his name, but he's canon in the comic books.
Okay, cool.
But he's just portrayed differently here.
Yeah, as we were saying off pod, I've been super influenced by animated series more than comic books. So I read loads of comics when I was younger and still collect some to this day. But a lot of characters that are fairly recent, I think I've missed some of them the years. Yes.
Yeah, fair enough.
But that's why these cartoons are great, right? Because they introduce them to the general audience, like characters you don't normally see in comics. You'll see on this show because every kid's going to sit down in front of their telly and watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
So they do a lot of crossover in this show as well with other Marvel characters. Like you just mentioned the Hulk.
They do. This episode, more than anything, you'll get heaps of them.
Well, Moon Knight for a highlight, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, there's lots of influence here. I'm starting to notice from the films, like the MCU.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for him to say this is Tony Stark's lab, like he's one sentence away from saying.
Yeah. They definitely do speak to each other here, and they get influenced. Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
that's Kurt Connors.
That's Kurt Connors,
the lizard.
The lizard.
Yeah.
With and he's rocking a fake arm.
Mm-hmm. From memory, I think that's a wrong arm in the comics. I think it's a right arm from memory. I could be wrong.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Or left.
Yeah. Is it the left?
Is it the left?
God, I review an animated series show.
Is it? Okay.
Is it the left? Okay.
I'm not sure. I read just recently an old Amazing Spider-Man 100. I think it's the first appearance of Morbius, and it has the lizard in there as well. I can't remember. Who knows? The brain, eh?
Yeah, that film's coming out next year, whether we like it or not. Morbius.
Oh yeah, are you excited?
I think it will be one of those things that I watch when it comes out on streaming, and in the comfort of my own home, and not go out and pay money to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely see it. I reckon it's Morbius is an interesting character, but yeah, I'm not sure if I'll go to the cinemas. But
yeah, well, a lot of people aren't these days.
Well, yeah, I mean, apart from that, yeah, and a revamped Aunt May here, a lot younger, as you can see.
Oh yeah, We've still got a bit of the grey hair, and she's still like not the hot Aunt May that they're doing in the MCU.
the Marissa Tomei.
What do you guys think about that, by the way?
Yeah,
Marissa Tomei. Problematic. Okay, how come?
Oh.
I don't have a problem with the actress at all. It's just that I'm used to seeing her geriatric.
Yeah, she is the classic look. Is her being a lot older? I don't mind. I mean, I think they've taken enough liberties in the MCU to tweak that, and maybe longevity wise, it's probably smart to have a younger Aunt May. If I can say that.
Yeah. But I agree with you, Chad. I think that Aunt May's always that sweet old woman. Is supposed to be like your grandmother, you know, like someone that you're just like, oh, she's always there, and she's got the biggest of hearts. And I know there's something about Marissa Tomei that just doesn't scream old woman to me. So
yeah. Doesn't matter how many highlights they throw in her hair.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got a superpowered baseball bat here.
Was that cardiac weapon?
Oh yeah, cardiac. So Grady Scraps. I don't remember who.
So I mean, if he's not Doc Ock's son, he looks like he's related.
He does. You're right. With the green and yellow, there's a and he's a bit portly, and it just seems like he's an Octavius. So we get words like quantum entanglement, things like that, to explain the ridiculous science that's going on right now. Yeah. Hey guys, something very strange has occurred. This isn't actually episode 3. But all right, we can still go through it. This is actually part 1 of it's not really what I remember from episode 3. And I just had a look at the YouTube comments. It is, someone said, bruh, this is episode 1, not 3. So anyway, loonies, no worries. Maybe we cover all of them. Because let's just cover all of the parts. Because Mooney does turn up in part 3. But Alex, I'm glad you're here, because this is a Spider-Man centric,
Spider-Man focused episode.
Yeah. Because, no spoilers, but by now, Chad, remember, at the beginning, they would have been fighting the symbiotes in episode 3, right? There's a whole all the Avengers.
It starts out.
Yeah.
There's already.
Oh man, that sounds cool. We got all the Avengers in episode 3.
Yeah. Oh god. No,
like
I won't say anything else.
Everyone from everywhere.
Yeah, I won't say anything else then. But okay. Change of plan, loonies. But while we're watching this,
we're rolling with it. Okay,
we're rolling with it. No doubt. I'll be updating the episodes in the description. But hey. Have you seen this, Chad?
Episodes...
Sorry?
No, I didn't watch the beginning episodes.
Okay.
I just watched the one with Mooney, so...
Okay, cool. Sorry, Alex, you're saying these episodes are large, if that's what you're about to ask?
Yeah, they're 45 minutes in length?
Yeah, I think they're kind of seen as double episodes, I think.
Okay.
So each of them are about 45 minutes long.
I'm only bringing it up, not that it's a problem, but because obviously most episodes are like 20 minutes in length,
yes.
28 with some adverts and stuff. But
yes.
Yeah, when I saw 45 minutes, I was like, wow, this is not normal. Is this something that this cartoon is adopted from another one, or are they kind of a pioneer in doing lengths that long? I haven't watched new cartoons in a long time, so forgive me if I sound stupid.
Yeah, no, I don't believe so. I think generally cartoons are around 22, 23 minutes long. But I think because of this is part of the whole Maximum Venom arc, which I believe is a 6-part adventure, but each of those 6 parts are double episodes, so they obviously had a lot to talk about, a lot to write about in the series.
Right.
Again, no spoilers for you, Alex, but we're talking, as Chad alluded, a lot of characters are involved here. So actually, it's good that you're watching the first episode. Hopefully, this will draw you in.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I mean, I don't mind if you spoil a little. If the listeners have seen this, spoil away. Don't hold back on my account. But if you're not doing any spoilers for the listeners, then I get it.
Okay.
But I don't mind if you spoil things, mate.
Okay, no worries. I'll keep it still. That is the moment, Alex, where you're meant to curse.
I'll keep that in mind for next time then.
So a bit of Spidey action here.
This is, all of the robots and some of the things that are going on right now, like, if you showed me this, if I didn't see Spider-Man swinging in there, I wouldn't be able to tell you it's a Spider-Man cartoon. At least from my experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this isn't the common type of situation that Spider-Man or these villains that he usually fights, at least. I could be wrong, I haven't read a comic. Maybe all of these creatures are in the comics, but
oh no,
I'm a little thrown.
Yeah, a little thrown by it. Yeah, it is a bit. It does kind of focus a bit on the technology side of things, but believe me, once the symbiotes come in, it all goes a bit crazy. So,
well,
there you go.
Sicken up webs. It reminds me that creature. It reminds me of, if you guys ever seen Predators,
yes,
third Predator film.
Yep,
looks like the Predator dogs.
The hounds, yeah. The
hounds, yeah, it looks like them.
That was I love my Predator, but I'm not too sure about those sequels.
No, I totally agree. I'm with you, man. I love Predator as well. I've got such a soft spot for Arnie and Predator 1. That film is just endless, like classic. I can watch it any day, anytime.
Yeah. It's in a weird way, it's kind of comfort watching, isn't it? Like,
it is.
To watch skinned bodies hung up in the jungle.
Yeah. And hear those little drums, those Congo drums, in the background. Love that. That looked a bit like a danger room at X-Men.
Yeah, there was even earlier on. There was a little like a bit of that Cerebro room as well.
Mm.
You can see now. I can see now what you're talking about with the gloves for Spider-Man as well. Those little tweaks.
Yes. Yeah,
it's quite obvious there. Yeah, don't worry. Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, don't worry. I've only created a big disaster that's probably going to consume most of New York and possibly the world, but it's fine.
It's fine.
We're good. You're Spider-Man, right? You got this.
You got this.
You're only a friggin' 12-year-old kid.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Bit of a reveal. He knows.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he knows him.
I'm a genius, remember?
Yeah, exactly.
I store all of my knowledge in my epic mustache and goatee.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he has a point, though. With all the geniuses or genii in the Marvel Universe, you know, they should be knowing all these secret
plural
identities.
genius? Is genii plural genius?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I was going to say, I've learned something new today. If that's the case.
No. Don't take it from an Aussie. Our English is terrible. So here we go. So this is great. So he's given the synthetic symbiote to Spidey, assuring him that it will be fine.
Yeah, because when has it not been fine when he's put the symbiote on? Oh, that's a cool costume, man.
It's
I
cool,
like
isn't
that
it?
look a lot.
Yeah, so a bit
Reminds
off.
me of the armored
Yes.
suit.
The Iron Spider,
Yes.
yeah.
It does, yeah. It's got that same giant spider. You're talking about the one from the films, right, Chad?
No, like the
Are you talking about the
old
comics?
school armored
The red and
one.
yellow?
Like the
Yeah.
No, it was like metal.
Yes.
And black.
What's the name of that one? You know what's ridiculous? This is really embarrassing. That Spider-Man originated in the animated series I review on the podcast.
Oh.
He was in a spider. There's like a Spider-Verse episode.
Yeah.
The producer of the show actually claims he invented the Spider-Verse before the comics or anybody did it. There's this whole thing that he went into on Facebook, but I digress. Yeah, it's like Battle Armor Spider-Man or something like that.
Mm.
But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about now. Yeah, he looks cool.
God, this music is great.
Yeah. I like it.
Quite bombastic at points.
They're actually, it's really good to hear, Alex, what your thoughts are on the animation as well, because there are a few loonies in the group, in our community as well, who do watch a lot of animated, and they aren't taken too much by this animation. I don't mind it myself. I actually think it's quite nice. But yeah, apparently it's for those that do watch a lot of animated series, as they reckon that this animation isn't as good as some. But
it's very clean, and I say that in a good way and a bad way, because a lot of the things I love about Spider-Man, the way he looks, is in the curve. Like, this is, I'm not trying to sound sexual, but like the curvature of his muscles,
Okay.
like the way like his shoulders, and like he's lean but he's ripped. I don't know. I like a lot of cross hatching and some like shadow on him, and there's no direction of any lighting right now, right? Like
yes,
you don't see any shadows.
No, it's just you're right, very flat, and the shadows are very very fundamental, like very general, if any. Yeah, it really are. Like there's no curvature to a lot of the characters and in the environment. Mm-hmm.
God, never again will I say I love the way Spider-Man's muscles look. I can't believe I just said that.
It's the curvature of his figure.
His muscles. Figure, yeah.
17-year-old child.
Yeah, exactly. Oh dearie me.
Yeah. Well, it's over now.
It's like I hope they don't come knocking on your door there.
Yeah.
Spoken to Peter Parker, of all people. It's like...
Yeah, it's now more than I keep on looking. His facial features. There's no definition to any of his face. Like you can't see any like cheek lines or anything.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's just same flat color the whole way. Like even a bit of, I don't know, like a lighter or a darker skin color around parts of the nose, just to highlight some of the facial features.
Yeah. I think that would make a lick of difference, really. I mean, like, sorry, probably got that wording wrong. But I think it would make a lot of difference. If you do just add that slight, just, extra hue here and there, give it a bit of depth.
Because they've done lines on Captain Beardy Goatee Guy's face just to make him look a bit older. And maybe they've done away with that with Peter to obviously make him look really young. But he just, I don't know, there's not enough... oh man, I keep on wanting to say the word curvature. What is with that word today? There's not enough definition to his face. There we go.
Don't worry, Looney listeners. this show isn't as sensual as we make it sound. It's
It's not that type of animation.
yeah. So there you go. There's a bit of lighting there, which they use only from the glare of the...
Yeah, because they have to, right?
Yeah, but look at that. Big difference.
Yeah, there is a big difference.
Oh, so we know Kirk Connors.
Oh, Kirk Connors is...
You bastard.
What is he, corrupt?
You
Son of a
bastard.
bitch.
He's meant to be-
Moving to the next phase.
That's it. I thought you were better say moving to the next scene. Chad just go, yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So it does have a lot, again, more robots.
Yeah, it does.
But look at this. I love this armor. Like, he's really using it to the full ability.
Oh, so he's doing a little training with the suit now.
Yeah. Monitoring its behavior.
In broad daylight in the park.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Nothing COVID at all.
Yeah, and that's completely safe, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, he's one of his favourites. The old mace. Ooh.
Oh, what a cool shield!
Look at
with
that.
the logo. That was cool.
That's nice, yeah. Bit of T2 there with the blades.
Oh, yeah.
Settle down, Max. Here we go. Oh, he's pissed it off.
So, in this show, is this his first exposure to the symbiote?
No, not at all.
Okay.
This is just the first exposure to the synthetic symbiote. So,
Right, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
But he thinks there's no weakness, but doesn't he know that like vibrations and stuff or like powerful noise can hurt it?
yeah, I think he's maybe discerning it from the natural symbiote, like the Clintar. Like I think he's just referring to this synthetic symbiote.
Right.
Because it may not necessarily have the properties. So I think from there we've seen electricity is the key, not necessarily fire. And
I'm really digging the reverse coloured suit for him.
it's
for
pretty
this.
cool. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really digging it. It looks cool.
It's like, I don't know, Venom Cookies and Cream Edition.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, like double stuffed Oreo edition.
I'm getting hungry. It's I
Oh,
don't know if,
Spidey's on a train.
yeah.
Oh yeah, love me some of that.
All I remember is that meme with Tobey Maguire's face.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've sent that so many times to my brother when we're making jokes about Spider-Man. Or just jokes in general. If it works, we send it. Alright, so we got a lot of exposition going on here.
Yep.
But yeah, look at that. That's like, I've never seen Spidey use the symbiote suit like that before.
It's pretty wild. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
Can I just say, as cool as it is to use an arc reactor for, commonplace commute, that seems really stupid.
it does, isn't it?
And a massive waste of energy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Unless it's commercially available or something, but you doubt it.
Maybe. But I doubt Stark Enterprises would do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that is a ridiculous thing, isn't it? It's like we've built this amazing arc reactor. It's this renewable energy. It can power cities, but we're going to put it in a train.
Yeah, exactly. Well, people have to get there on time.
Well, here in England, even if the trains were powered by a bloody arc reactor, we'd still be about 20 minutes late.
No,
Oh.
true.
OG.
OG.
Starting to get that Venom attitude going.
Yeah.
Bit of sass.
The BA cogginess.
Yeah. Every person on the train just then, from what I saw, they all had the exact same shaped face, like the same chin angles and everything. There was no diversity to them whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like it was just like one blonde, one brunette, but they looked the same.
And I think this kind of goes back again to these comments about this, I guess this animation and maybe modern day animation where there isn't much budget, I believe. Like,
right.
Speaking to people
Which is surprising, right?
I know. I know exactly, because if anything, it's a nice gateway for a lot of, young viewers to become maybe potential comic book readers.
What happened to me when I was a kid? I mean, I hate to sound like an old man like in my day, but yeah, that's how I learned about Spider-Man and every other character in his universe.
Yeah. But it seems like even across the board, like with DC, although they have great films and stuff.
Yeah, they do. They've been doing a really good job. They've got one coming out, The Death in the Family, where you get to vote on if Robson will die, which I think is awesome.
That's so cool.
I mean, they did it for the comics, and now they're doing it for the animated film. I was like, that's genius.
That is a very good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. That doesn't look like New York, guys. I gotta say.
No, I was about to say, what were you going to say, Alex?
Just look at, I mean, that looks like the Legion of Doom's headquarters, just like dropped in the middle of a park.
Yeah, I was about to say, it looks very like Japanese, like very anime, like the landscaping, not necessarily.
It's like a interpretation of a 2040 version of New York or 2050 version. It looks very futuristic.
Yeah.
Have either of you seen the Seattle Science Center?
No.
It used to be like the World's Fair Center when it was there.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. I used to, just quickly, guys, I used to live in America. I lived there for 17 years.
Oh, wow. So, just a little stint then. Yeah.
Just a tiny bit. Yeah, I moved there when I was 10 and moved back when I was 27. Okay. But I lived on the East Coast. I think I know what you're talking about, Chad. I think, is it like a thin, tall pyre and then it's got like a big, like circular top to it? Or am I thinking of something else?
I think you're going on about something else. Okay. I was just the like retro future look just seemed to be comparable.
Okay.
I'm gonna quick for this. What's it called? The Seattle Tower
Science Center.
Seattle Science Center. Yeah, but look at this.
The tower is the Space Needle.
Oh, the Space Needles. Yeah, I know that one.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was thinking of. Well,
I've been on there. Yeah,
so, I see what you're talking about. It looks a lot like this base he's in.
Okay.
Yeah, there's these massive archways, these white archways. Yeah, it looks a lot like that. I mean, that looks like it's right out of the cartoon, guys. Look at that.
Oh.
I don't know if you can see that, but that looks like what we've just been watching, at least. It's crazy.
Right.
Good shout, Chad. You know your architecture.
Nice one, Chad. Jeez.
Now, is this guy's voice not broken yet? Like, is he just about to go through puberty? Because you get a real, like, oh, geez, I don't know.
Yeah, he's got the nervous energy, hasn't he? And
yeah.
He's a little bit of a nerd.
What's this thing?
I know. Dexter or something. I don't know. Is
he a serial killer in his spare time and a blood splatter analyst? What? That reminds me of, like, Wall-E.
Oh, yeah, Wall-E, yeah.
It's like the love child of Eva and Wall-E.
And Wall-E, yeah! That's exactly what it is.
Well, that's what he's up to these days.
Yeah, Wall-E's just expanding his data.
Yeah, you got to trust me, Alex, as well. I mean, so this episode so far has been very, it's been enjoyable. As you say, you wouldn't know it's a Spider-Man thing. He pops up every now and again. Other here, I mean, obviously Moon Knight comes in later, but it does really ramp up to be more of a New York kind of thing.
Yeah, so, all right, so Connors is the secret bad guy, yeah? Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah.
Is he acting on self-interest, or does he work for somebody?
I'm just thinking...
It kind of seems like he's trying to expose a corrupt scientist.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
but he was on the phone saying moving to next phase, so I was wondering who he was on the phone with.
Well, because, I mean, by part 3, he's really inconsequeconseal. Connors.
Oh, this is intense, man. Sorry to interrupt, but like that scream he just gave is...
Yeah.
Oh, we got
something.
Are we going to get Lizard's venom, or are we just getting Connor's venom for now?
We got...
Kind of both.
Yeah.
Right.
All Venom's... It's not, but look, and a lot of Venom maniacs are a little... It's not really Venom, because Venom is a particular symbiote, right? This is a synthetic one, so it should be saying I'm whatever, something. Or maybe it shouldn't even have a name, unless it was it's cloned from Venom, maybe.
Yeah, I'm Denim, Venom's older brother.
Jesus. More durable.
Should be in blue. Yeah, more durable.
Yeah, just blue with Levi's taped to his back.
I'm the Canadian tuxedo.
Denim.
Well, man. Next time Wolverine wears Venom, he's got to be called Denim.
Actually, forgot about this. I forgot that Connor's got.
Got the symbiote. Now.
Oh no, sorry. So hang on. So Spidey's got the synthetic. So Connors has got Venom, right?
He's got Venom. Okay, so when he said Venom's back, it is the Venom symbiote. Okay. Yeah, because they've been studying it obviously to recreate it synthetically, which is always a bad idea.
It is. Oh. I don't know, but yeah, I think like, out of the Spidey villains, I think Venom and Carnage for me would have to be the scariest. Just
scariest,
as in like it seems really like hard for Spider-Man to beat them.
Yeah, I mean Venom, like the animated series I review.
Yeah.
That the first time Venom shows up, I remember seeing that as a kid, and he's like not only a bulking, horrible, vicious monster, but he's psychedelically, well, not psychedelically, but he's messing with Spider-Man mentally, right? Like he's following him as Peter Parker because he knows Peter's secrets because the symbiote has told him because he was part of Peter.
Yeah.
So he knows that he's in love with Mary Jane, and he's stalking Mary Jane as well, and he's showing up at Aunt May's house as Eddie Brock and being like, I'm Peter's best friend, and we hang out all the time. And Peter knows that it's Venom, and it's I agree, man. Like, besides Green Goblin, he mentally messes with Peter so much.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, but the physicality, it's just such a difficult enemy to take on. And Carnage even more so. Jeez.
Carnage, because he's a serial killer. Although in the cartoon that I watch, because they had so many restrictions back then, they couldn't call him a serial killer, so they just call him a criminal.
Oh, okay.
And he's harmed a lot of people, is what it said. He's murdered a lot of people. So
not too, he's just an unpleasant chap then,
Yeah, like as much as the 90s were like just no holds bar, brutal action. I mean, look at RoboCop. In the first 2 minutes, the guy gets blown to bits, right? Yeah. And I'm collecting action figures of this film when I was like 7.
It's weird, isn't it?
But yeah, some of the cartoons, though, they really had so many restrictions they had to follow. We even do a segment on our podcast, which is all about every episode. Did it follow? We call it Censor Thwip, so the censorships.
Okay, cool.
The episodes.
Nice.
Like things like they're not allowed to say the word nuclear or radiation.
Wow.
They're not allowed to play with that stuff. Yeah, they're not allowed to show any broken glass because it will encourage kids to break glass.
Oh, wow. That is very
interesting.
So
it's really interesting, that they had to follow. Where this is, it feels more kiddie, though. Like, it doesn't feel as serious. However, they're not following the same restrictions they had to, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
So this was definitely a reference to throwing Gwen Stacy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, anytime Spider-Man's on that bridge, something bad happens and someone's thrown up.
Spider-Man and bridges. So we see here... so Connors is just flung away by the symbiote. The symbiote absorbs the synthetic symbiote, and so Spidey's just back to his OG.
Sorry, I'm busy talking about my own podcast.
No, not at all. No. No, that's very interesting. Actually, got to check that out. I love the ins and outs of the actual stuff.
So Venom's now in seek of a new host?
Yeah. One of the disappointments, and again, a slight spoiler. So Eddie Brock doesn't show up. The Venom symbiote. Yeah, the Venom symbiote is there. So there was a lot of contention from a lot of the Venom fans because that's not Venom without Eddie. But yeah, so we're seeing this maximum Venom or Flash. True. But we're seeing this whole apparent... I haven't seen the last few parts, but the first 3 parts at least, the arc's called Maximum Venom, and there's no Eddie Brock.
Right.
So,
okay.
Which I like to see Eddie Brock. He is a complicated character as well.
He's great, man. I love Eddie. Just the progression of his story in comics, and that's Todd McFarlane, man. He created the look of Eddie Brock and Venom.
Hulking, I loved how he was just like a heavyweight bodybuilder kind of build.
Yeah, covered in what looked like something out of Alien.
Yeah.
And that's what he was briefed on was when he was originally told to start creating this new villain for Spider-Man. He didn't know that there was a human inside of this creature. He just was told it's this giant bulking creature. It looks something like out of Alien, and it's got teeth, and it's got, hollow white eyes, and do all of this stuff. So he drew it, and then they were like, "Well, yeah, you do know that there's a dude underneath that, right?" And he's like, "No," because he drew it as like he's like a wrestler, like a giant beast. And I think that's great because that obviously gave birth to one of the best Spider-Man villains ever.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, who was your favorite Spider-Man villain, Alex and Chad?
My favorite Spider-Man villain, it's got to be the Green Goblin.
Okay.
My first exposure to him in the animated series I review, he just mentally screws with Peter, and then you've got Harry that takes the mantle of it, and I don't know, I just love the Green Goblin's look. There's something about it that just is great.
Yeah.
And then, love it or hate it, the Tobey Maguire film, the suit is horrible, but Willem Dafoe I really liked as Norman Osborn.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe is, I think, really good. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the suit. Have you seen the original suit that they had?
Yeah, and I don't know why they didn't.
Terrifying.
It is. It's bloody awesome. They should have used that. I don't understand.
That's why I love the Goblin. It's like that terrifying Goblin mask and how he looks.
Yeah, he's actually, you're right, he's quite scary as well as a villain. How about you, Chad? Who's your favourite?
Well, it's actually pretty close to that. Mine is actually Hobgoblin.
Oh, yeah,
nice.
He's nice. Yeah. He gets scary too with Demogoblin, becoming Demogoblin.
Well, it's kind of on, it's kind of the same reason I like Venom, is there's a lot of, sometimes it's really misunderstood. Just kind of depends on what phase they're going through.
Yeah.
But, Hobgoblin has been a hero at times.
Yeah,
and...
he has. But he's also had his fair share of mental battles as well. Struggling.
Yeah. Well, in the animated series I review, they put Hobgoblin out before Green Goblin, and the whole controversy. Do you guys know who Avi Arad is? He's like the producer of the Spider-Man. He's he looks like a vampire actually, but he's the producer of all of the films from the 90s and early 2000s.
He's been on for ages.
Marvel.
Yeah.
And he is one of the main producers behind the animated series. And he wanted Hobgoblin before Green Goblin, and John Semper, who's the main producer of the show, said, "No, we're doing Green Goblin first, just like the comics." And Avi Arad said, "No, we're doing Hobgoblin because I've made the toy already, and the toy's coming out, so you need to produce an episode that makes sense of the toy."
Oh,
so,
wow.
Against his will, John Semper did this, and he worked with Stan Lee on the show, so they would have constant writer room discussions around this. And it actually worked out really well because the Hobgoblin's armor and his suit and his glider was created by Norman Osborn.
Yeah.
And then when Norman Osborn goes crazy and exposed to the gas, he already has all the technology that he made for the Hobgoblin to become the Green Goblin.
Oh,
which I thought worked out really nicely.
That does work out well. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always thought that was canon, and then when I read a comic, I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Yeah. Where is Hobgoblin?
Yeah.
Why isn't he here yet? Yeah.
I like Hobgoblin. Mark Hamill voiced him in the animated series.
Oh, okay.
And he just does his Joker voice, right?
Yeah, of course.
It sounds brilliant. Sounds really
It's like somewhere between a Joker voice and
Luke Skywalker voice?
Trickster.
Okay, yeah.
The Trickster from The Flash.
Yeah, that was a good show. Yeah. I like that.
That was a good show.
But even in the Justice League animated, he voiced the Trickster.
He did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he gets around with voice acting.
Is that the Bruce Timm one that he does the Joker voice? Okay, yeah.
So just an update here. So the Venom has found a seed or something, which he uses to ingest and to put out a beacon to the other Clintars in the galaxy. So that's what that big kind of electrical surge is. Yeah, that thing there. So Spidey's trying to obviously defuse it.
E.T. phone home.
Yeah.
Yeah, proper E.T. phone home.
There you go.
And that felt a bit like the Thing there as well.
Yeah.
That, mutated monster with teeth.
Yeah.
I'm an 80s and 90s kid, so I'm gonna always reference back to those sort of things. Yeah, we talked about Predator, T2, The Thing.
The Thing, yeah. RoboCop as well, didn't you?
RoboCop, yeah.
So he's defeated it there. All seemingly good, but I guess the call has been put out there to outer space, so that's a problem.
Gotcha.
But
So other symbiotes are on their way.
But yeah, I mean, so Hobgoblin, Green Goblin, I like as well. Venom obviously is one of my faves as well. I like. I used to read a lot of the Web of Spider-Man. I like Tombstone.
I love Tombstone.
Yeah, the original Tombstone. I think in the comics now he's like a bit of a joke, but he used to sharpen his teeth. He'd always whisper. I think he's lost the whisper now, which is I thought that was so kind of unique for a character.
Let's see. Yeah. So, he looked a lot like the Great White Shark from DC Comics, right?
Oh,
like
okay.
Right.
Same sort of thing, just really resilient and powerful. Like
strong. Yeah, and just like pale, opaque skin and sharp teeth and stuff like that.
I just realized that version of Tombstone, it's basically just an augmented Bushman.
Oh, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
The sharpened teeth, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to see Bushman and Tombstone have a go at each other.
Oh, that'd be a cool fight.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to give it to Tombstone because he's kind of amped up, but still.
Well, and like, I think it's never been clear, but some versions of Tombstone, he doesn't breathe. He's dead. Hence the name Tombstone.
Right.
He's as strong as a slab of rock.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. He can't be killed.
Yeah, it's like strong as marble, cold as ice. That was his catchphrase.
Yeah, something like yeah.
Yeah, he got gassed or something. He was in jail with Robbie Robertson.
Right.
And so he was a normal hitman, just scary albino dude. But then he got like these powers. But his powers kind of fluctuated. But generally, he's just meant to be, really resilient. Oh, here we go.
Right.
Really resilient.
Here they come.
So there's a beacon. It's shot out to the Clintars.
Contrary-wise, it's like there's all that flat animation style, but that particle beam looks really nice.
Really good.
Yeah, it does.
Outer space looks really good as well.
It does.
Look at that. Well, there you go.
Well, you might have made a watcher out of me. I'm intrigued to see where it goes. I mean, it reminds me a lot. I don't know if you guys are reading the current Venom series done by Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman.
Oh, I'd love to. I had to drop off. I know, Chad, you are, right?
Yeah.
We had Stegman on our podcast.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really cool because this is the thing, right? My brother, like, he knows people because he's in the inner circle and stuff. So
nice one.
Yeah, it definitely was a cool episode to kind of get their insight. I got a question with this show.
Yep.
Does the symbiote come from Spider-Man going to space and finding it in Secret Wars, or is it a rock that like it crash lands on Earth, or does it come with like J. Jonah Jameson's son in a spaceship?
Yeah, good question. I haven't watched every single episode of Marvel Spider-Man, but I couldn't answer it unless you know, Chad.
No idea.
Because the only reason I ask, and I wouldn't be surprised if it is something that just like is a piece of rock that came to Earth and stuff. Because obviously in the comics, that's how Spider-Man finds the symbiote, right? It's Secret Wars. He goes to outer space. He finds the symbiote, and that's what he uses to like fight in the Secret Wars, and then brings it back home with him.
Yep.
But in the animated series in the 90s that I review, the change to the story was J. Jonah Jameson's son goes to space and finds this rock and brings it back with him because they couldn't do all of the Secret Wars and go into space and stuff. They wanted to get Venom in the first season because they're like, we need Venom. He's really popular right now. It's like 1994. Let's get him in. No one's done it. He's only been out like 7 years or something. So they did that in the cartoon, and then since then, so many iterations, even like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3, they all took those storylines. And what we found really interesting reviewing this cartoon, my brother and I, is all of the Marvel films from like the late 90s, early 2000s, like Blade, for instance. Mm-hmm. He's got Whistler, right? Mm-hmm. Whistler didn't exist in the comics. Whistler wasn't his helper that like built his arsenal. Right. That was created in Spider-Man the Animated Series and then went to Blade.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, okay, where's all these connections coming from?
Yeah.
it was Avi Arad who was the producer on all of those films. So he basically did Spider-Man the Animated Series. It ended in like 97 and 98.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, I've got these templates of what we can turn into films, and then went straight into producing a lot of these films and using those stories from the show, which I thought was really cool, because it's still to this day you see those types of things showing up.
Absolutely. So he's definitely had a hand in the formation development of the characters, but through a different avenue.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly. Well, he stole it from all of the writers that he worked with on the cartoon. yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, very interesting. Far out. That's actually
cool.
So you mentioned that 94 series, right? I am actually going through that on Disney Plus myself. I'm only up to episode 5 or something, the Sting of the Scorpion, I think. But
nice.
I think I might.
That's Martin. Yeah? Do you know who that is? That's Martin Landau. Do you know who Martin Landau
is?
Yeah. That's
the actor, the famous. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Voices the Scorpion. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I'm gonna have to. So you guys review all of the episodes, or?
Yeah. We review all the episodes, and then if we have guests on, we obviously do that. But we also look into the show. Like, we've done toy reviews, because the toys were mad for that show.
The new wave coming out. Are you going to get it, or have you?
Well, you know what? The new wave, it's got the packaging from the 94 series.
Yep.
But it doesn't have the character design. So, like, Peter Parker looks like he's 1960s Peter Parker, and not from the animated series, although the thumbnail on the packaging is the 90s version of Peter. Right. It's really confusing what they've done there.
How about how about the Spidey costume? Is that true to the 94?
Yeah, I mean, it is somewhat true. He's a bit darker red and darker blue, and the eyes are different, but you know, they really stayed true to Spidey's original look in that show. Yeah. So, you know, as long as you get it close enough, you could be like, yeah, that works. I mean, as a kid, I was playing with action figures which weren't from the animated series, but looked enough like the Spider-Man film, and I would, think it was part of this
head canon. It always helps. It always works.
Yeah. So we've done loads. We've done character designs from the show. We've looked at from comics to cartoon. You know, the writers of the show, especially John Semper, the main producer and head writer. He's a massive Spider-Man fan, and has a collection bigger than yours, Ray, because I can see in the background you've got loads over there.
No,
he was the first one to go, right, how's it done in the comics? And I want to do exactly like that, but condense it down into 22 minutes.
Right.
And he really, he came up with some great stories, like the symbiote crash landing on a space shuttle and all of that stuff. And hell, that he's kind of introduced his own canon into the Spider-Man universe, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan. If you're watching it, Ray, like, enjoy, man. I love that show, obviously for many reasons, but yeah, it's a great show.
Yeah, I'm trying to. My little guy's still very young, but he's really into Spider-Man already. Only because he's got the little toys, like the plush toys. And he loves that. I'm trying to indoctrinate him already with the Spider-Man animated series.
Amazing.
So whether he takes it tonight, I'm just a bit wary that the 94, I'm not sure if there are scary scenes for him, because he's only 2, so...
yeah, I mean, hell, I was scared of some of the Venom scenes as a kid in that show, but I don't know, 2... Yeah, I can't.
He'll forget anyway, and I'll just have to stick some Charlie Houston Moon Knight in front of him. Chad, what do you reckon?
Jesus.
No, not at all. So Loonies, that was the episode. As you heard, about 5 minutes or 10 minutes in. Wasn't the actual episode that you probably were expecting, Loonies. So no Moon Knight here, but had a great chat here with Alex. Thanks so much, Alex, for coming on board.
Thanks for having me, man.
And actually, learning more about your podcasters too, which I urge all the Loonies to definitely check out. I know anyone that is into Moon Knight or into comics, there's always a little space in there somewhere for Spidey. I mean, he's such a titanic character in comics, up there with the big ones. So definitely check out Spider-Man the Animated Series podcast, hosted by Alex and Will. Should be great stuff. But a huge thank you, Alex. You're more than welcome to come on again. Not the same
for the right episode.
For the right episode, yeah. And I won't call you like half an hour before we do this. We'll have a little bit more organisation, Loonies, and yes, I will find the correct episode. It was titled Episode 3 on YouTube,
Well,
but
when I looked it up, was as well, and
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
Yeah.
this is the right show, because I just wanted to make sure I had the right show. But,
Yes,
yeah, man, it was still good. It was great
still
to
good.
see a new Spider-Man version. Great to meet you both and be on the show and chat nerdy comic book stuff, which is one of my favorite things to do in the world. So yeah, I'm a big fan.
Absolutely, it's been so much fun as well. And look, this might be just the precedent, Chad. We might just have to go through the other parts then in our whenever our moon and stars hit. I forgot to mention, Alex. So our shows are dictated by the phases of the moon. So
Cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
I don't have it off the top of my head because I'm rubbish with this sort of thing. But the phase of the moon dictates its moon and stars, which is our Moon Knight on Film segment. So whenever the same phase happens again, we'll return to I guess then, Chad, we know what we're going to do next. We're going to do part 2 and then part 3.
Oh no!
But
Maybe at a different time for Chad than 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever.
I know.
No,
No,
4 o'clock in the morning is fine for me.
That is a sweet spot. Anyway, a huge thanks again, Alex, for joining us.
Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for having me on.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
Excellent. We'll just take a quick break, Loonies, and we'll be right back to wrap up the show.
Hello, I'm Anthony.
And I'm Dr. Issues.
And we're hosts of Capes on the Couch, the podcast where comics get counseling.
Superheroes don't always get to go home happy. That's where we come in.
We offer psychiatric and mental health analysis of comic book characters.
So check us out at capesonthecouch.live and across all social media platforms at Capes on the Couch.
Yes, welcome back, Looney listeners. You are listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. This is episode 157, and you are not watching episode 3 of Marvel's Spider-Man. For this episode, your audio commentary was not on The Vengeance of Venom. It was on episode 1, but we had a hell of a time anyway. And so that was on the other side of the break. You heard Alex again, a great chap there from the UK, doing big things with Spider-Man at the Spider-Man Animated Series podcast. Chad, yeah, I guess it was useful to listen to episode 1.
Yeah, it definitely had, frame of reference. It wasn't quite sure how, the entire world went to shit, but here we are.
Yeah, exactly. We've got one more hole to plug there with episode 2. But it was good to because I watched episode 1 like a while ago, so it was good to actually revisit it. No Moon Knight for it, Loonies. It's so embarrassing. It's funny, but we'll be back for sure. Chad, as well. I just got reminded we've got to do. Maybe we do it as just a Patreon thing. Are you still up for that Moon Knight cocktail thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Really? You're asking me?
So what I've got plans, right, of we do it over video, so maybe, I don't know if you have a tray or something in front of you, and I'll have it as well with the relevant liquors, and then we just go step by step how to make it. How's that? It could be just like a 10-minute thing.
Sounds peachy.
Awesome. Well, so Patroonies or Looney listeners, that will become available very soon for you. I'm going to work out the logistics with Chad, but we'll do a Moon Knight cocktail. We'll do a drinking hour one. Let's get sheet-faced, I think I'd like to call it. A bonus exclusive if you become a Patreon member. And as always, as I mentioned at the top of the show, patreon.com/ITK Moon Knight is where you can check out the Patreon page and consider all the incentives there. Also, Chad, I found out there's some lost videos that I made for I Am Your Target Demographic. It's a fellow collective show. They are on YouTube. Anyway, I might post that up as well for Patroonies as well as bonus material. But there you go. Patroonies. You got extra material there, right for you. So Chad will be with us. Chad, any other final thoughts for the animated series? I mean, I think Alex and I and yourself, we really covered a lot of ground there.
Yeah, honestly, I think that there was, like I said, frame of reference that we weren't getting off of just that one episode. It did more to explain how exactly Venom came out, because, we get that he's a nefarious, evil person, or goo. Not sure.
Yes. No, true.
In this
yeah.
series, anyway.
Absolutely. It was interesting as well. I forgot the whole Kurt Connors. And as Alex said, he did point to going to the next phase, but I don't believe, at least in episode 3, we hear anything of Kurt Connors' plan. So I could be totally wrong, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I think that all this was not intended by Connors.
No, not at all.
I think
No.
next phase was, just revealing his existence. Meanwhile, it's like next phase of Venom is,
yes,
expand.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a larger plan in mind. Yeah, for sure. Well, anyway, Chad, a huge thank you again for joining us for this, and I'm hoping you're amenable to many potential future Moon and Star segments to cover the rest of this Maximum Venom.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. Well, next phase, Loonies, we have an arc review. Again, I do not have my moon chart in front of me, so I don't know the phase. But the next phase decrees that we do an arc review. Now, I do have something special cooking. I'm not going to reveal it now, just in case it doesn't work out. But there will be something there. I'll be looking at a series of comics in the Mark Spector Moon Knight run in the 90s. So check out that for our arc review next up. Also, as well as mentioned, a huge thank you to our Patroonies, our Patreon members. Also to Hello Headphones, where you can get, if you do use the ITK Moon Knight code on their store online, you get 10% off. And a big thanks to Dreamland Comics from Illinois, the Superhero Superstore. If you use the code MOON, you'll get 20% off any of your online purchases there as well. You can contact us on itkmoonnight@gmail.com. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Discord, Patreon, Podchaser, Get Vocal, all that sort of pizzazz. It's in the show notes. And finally, we are part of The Collective, as alluded to before. And I think it'll be very, very useful. I mean, I know we've only, as Alex said, we've only met half an hour, probably an hour ago now, but I think Alex's show kind of fits that mold, part of The Collective, an informal network of like-minded podcasts where we look at character-based or geek-based. So the likes of Atalan Rising, the Inhumans podcast, Inner Demons, Ghost Rider podcast, or We Are Venomaniacs, the Venom podcast, all part of The Collective. Go check it out on hashtag TheCollectiveNet on Twitter. That pretty much wraps us up. Chad, are you steeling yourself for what's up ahead for you in the next few hours?
I gotta do some railjack missions in Warframe. Just pirate space combat.
Okay. Actually, I saw on Facebook I think you liked or you shared this game called Scorn. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that looks scary. We're talking about how scary symbiotes are. That body
super
gore.
H.R. Geiger stuff.
Yeah.
It looks amazing.
Yeah.
I did a demo for it way back in the day, and it really rides your nerves.
It looks crazy. I saw the guy reloading his gun into what looked like some sort of organism. There are some weird creatures, meat sacks, just walking around. It looks really good. And there's a foggy haze to it, which actually adds to that kind of sickening feeling. But anyway, a little shout out to that one, just because I saw it from Chad's feed. Scorn, so any gamers out there, loonies, go check it out. Let us know what you think. This has been a very odd episode. Very little Moon Knight involved. I'm talking about Scorn now, another game. But with that, I guess, loonies, may Khonshu watch over the denizens of the night. Catch ya.
Moon Knight and affiliated characters, stories and events are properties of Marvel Characters Incorporated. Materials used and discussed within the podcast are intended for critique and review purposes only under the fair dealing concept of the current Copyright Act. The views, information, or opinions expressed during the podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the copyright owners.